Have you ever wondered why comedy shows and specials are usually just like an hour long, maybe 90 minutes max? My theory is that maybe that's the maximum amount of material that we can hold in our brains as comedians. Give me one second, I'll explain. So, I'm an American comedian living in Germany, and a few years ago, I debuted my first solo show, my first hour of comedy, which was called Mama's Boy, my lesbian son comedy hour. I had to include the second part because people didn't get the joke about the Mama's Boy thing. And it was an hour of jokes and stories about what it was like growing up with gay parents in the 90s and how that led me to my life in Germany. And the first time I did the show, I think it was like April 29th, 2023. And it was just all the jokes I had. It was just like every single joke that I had was the first show. And then slowly you keep doing the show, you keep chipping away, you keep removing bad jokes, adding in new good jokes, rewriting jokes, finding the structure of the show until I was like, hey, I think I'm ready to take this out on the road. And so I started touring it through Germany and Europe. I took it through 28 cities, 14 countries. I will say, it was hard growing up with two moms, because kids are dicks, right? And like when I was young, kids would always be like, why don't you have a dad? Where'd your dad live? And here's the thing, it's hard to explain homosexuality to a 5-year-old when you're also 5. That's tough, That's long division, I couldn't spell my own name. I'm trying to explain the birds and the bees. The bees and the bees. So I just came up with like a quick, easy conversation stopper. And what I would do is I would just tell kids, my dad died in childbirth. And at a certain point, I hit this ceiling where I was like, I don't feel myself progressing with this show anymore. And I felt, okay, I could put it out online, but this is such a personal story for me. I don't know if I'm ready to put it out. I think I want to wait until I'm a better comedian to put this out into the world. And so I put it on the shelf. I started working on a new hour of comedy. That's what I spent the last year doing, and I'm excited about that hour. But I'm revisiting the show because it's Pride weekend coming up here in Berlin. And I'm doing the show Friday, July 25th. It's the Friday before the Pride Parade here in Berlin at the Wall Comedy Club. Tickets at patmorecomedy.com. And so I was like, hey, I'm going to do the show again. And I was like, no problem. I've done the show a million times. This will be easy. And I started trying to remember my set list. And I was like, I can't remember the show. And I had to literally re-watch my own show. I had to go through and like make note cards and write out my own jokes that I've told hundreds of times, possibly thousands of times. I had completely forgotten. And I was like, that's so fascinating, but also so refreshing because it gave me fresh eyes for the show.